Welcome back to the channel. My name is Stephen Nguyen. I'm a pharmacist and I own 52 units of real estate. So I basically bought a $800,000 house to house hack back in 2017, and I want to analyze, was it worth it looking back in retrospect, right? So for those of you new to my channel, I own 52 units of real estate, and where I got started was house hacking a single family home in Livermore, California. And I basically bought a single family home, a 4 bedroom, 3 bath, 2,300 square foot in a nice community for $800,000 as a primary residence, where I put 10% down. I think my interest rate was 4% at the time, so I put $80,000 down. And what I did was I lived in the master bedroom, which was huge. I think the master bedroom was like 800 square feet at least. And I had three other bedrooms. One bedroom had a private bathroom, and two bedrooms shared a bathroom. And because I was 27 at the time, I just thought, okay, I don't need this huge house for myself as a single guy. So I wanted to house hack my property in order to lower my cost. And I still had the college mentality, and I wanted to reduce my cost, build wealth, accumulate wealth. And also, it's nice to have people in the house too. Like, you don't want to be in a house by yourself. It's nice to have at least one or two other people. But I went extreme and I rented out all 3 bedrooms. So what I did was I posted ads on Facebook Marketplace, Craigslist. I had most success on Facebook Marketplace. That's kind of the new Craigslist. And what I did was I put an ad and I stated I have a fully furnished bedroom for rent. At the time they were fully furnished, but what I learned, what I suggest you do is you don't have to fully furnish it. You can rent it for the same amount of money, regardless if you provide the furniture or not. From my experience, so it's better not to provide the furniture, right? But what I did was I said I have a fully furnished room. It comes with a full-size mattress, a dresser, a chest. Um, all utilities are included, so that includes your water, your electricity, your internet. So it's just a one flat fee, and I gave the option of month to month to attract people, and basically put the advertisement, and then people would basically respond to the ad. I would do a phone call with them to kind of screen them, and then if that checked out, I would essentially bring them onto the property, show them the room, and get to know them further. So it didn't take me long to rent out the rooms. I think it took me about maybe 2 months in order to rent out all the rooms, which is pretty fast. And you get a lot of people who are kind of like in between jobs, or they just started a new job. So they just want a temporary place to stay, which has pros and cons. So to kind of summarize, I rented out the room with the private restroom for 1,100 bucks a month. And the 2 bedrooms that shared one bathroom, I rent that for $1,000 a month, right? And I lived in the master bedroom. And ideally, I want tenants who are rarely home. They're working professionals. Maybe they work night shift, like a nurse that works night shift. Maybe they're only there like 5 days a week. On the weekend, they go home to their family. So I kind of want people who are just kind of there, just to use the house as a place to sleep, shower, eat, and rest. And then otherwise, they're just at work. They're hanging out with friends. They're eating out with friends. They don't really cook or do anything there. So those are the type of people I try to target, and that's typically common with, like, if you're just by yourself, right? Like, it's not worth it to cook a full meal for yourself. It's cheaper to just eat out, or like it's easier just to eat out. And or I want people who, maybe they just want to be in Livermore for 5 days, but maybe they're from like Sacramento or something during the weekend where their family is, so they would just drive back there on the weekend and just work there, right? So that's the type of people I wanted, or people who work graveyard where you never see them. And honestly, the rap that it gets is like you lose privacy, and you do, right? You do lose privacy when you have people there. Um, you know, but on the positive, you need to target people who are rarely there, right? So that's how you get money. So I got about $3,100 a month, which covered my mortgage of roughly. I think my mortgage was roughly property. Principal and interest was roughly about $3,000, so that broke even. So I just to cover my property tax, my insurance, HOA, utilities. So that was nice in that aspect. And like I said, I was used to living with people, and I was happy to. And it was a great way to get income, great way to get started. And basically, you want to lower your costs. And my property was appreciating like roughly $80,000 a year that I've owned it from 2017 all the way till now. So was it worth it? Yeah, it was definitely worth it for me in that phase of my life. Now that I'm 34 and I'm engaged, house hacking doesn't sound as appealing to me because I want privacy now. I've worked hard, I grinded, I've earned having a space to myself. So at this phase, I'm not as in tune to house hack. Like, I'm debating if I want to house hack my current home, because it's a 3 bedroom. 2.5 bath townhome. And honestly, there's a master bedroom. One's gonna be my new YouTube studio slash guest room slash office, and then one is a spare room, which we could either house hack it, rent out, or just keep it open for friends and family or guests, right? So I'm still debating. Obviously, getting the money is nice, but like I said, I've worked hard, and it's nice to have your own space too. So now that I talked about the pros, let's talk about the cons of house hacking. So obviously, the cons is the tenants are more transient, right? So my average tenant stayed there about 6 months. Some stay there long term, some stay there short term, but typically, if someone left, it was pretty fast to fill that vacancy again. Um, Advertising on Facebook Marketplace, and every time someone left, I would raise their rents a little bit, right? Like, oh, at first I did 900, then it went to 950, then it went to 1,000, right? Because I was really testing the market to see how it would do. So it was a great way to raise your rents, and also it was a great way to like learn how to be a landlord, right? Like it's you can see lease templates, you could talk to people, do screenings, look at bank statements, verify employment, all these little steps that you do. And it's a great way to get your feet wet. But there's definitely cons, right? Like there's more turnover. The tenants are not gonna treat the house as nice as you are, right? They can't treat like a hotel. Like they might treat their room nicely, but the common areas like the bathroom, if it's shared, they may not clean it. If the kitchen, they may not clean the kitchen, right? They may leave trash there that you get to take out, right? So it's almost kind of like a hotel service. So that can be frustrating, right? But for me, I didn't mind doing it. I didn't mind, taking out the trash because it was my property. I want to take care of it. So, what I ended up doing at the end was I would just be upfront and be like, all right, well, for common areas to be cleaned, we're going to hire a maid that comes every month. She's going to clean the whole house, and we're all going to pitch in, right? And let's just say the maid was $150. And I would just be like, I'll pitch in the majority of it. So, for example, if it's 150, maybe I would put in like, I don't know, let's just make it easy, like $70, and whatever was the rest, they would divide amongst the other three tenants. So they might pitch in like, $25 each, right, to get the kitchen clean, the whole area clean, and their room clean as well, right? Because I want to maintain the property. They treat it like a hotel, which is the downside. Another downside too is the tenants. They may have conflict with each other, right? When there's people, there's conflict. So, hey, one tenant talks too loud at night, or plays too loud music, or they're too dirty. They don't clean the restroom. And when you ask them, hey, how come the restroom's not clean? They'll point at each other, right? Oh, like that person, I'm clean. The other person's dirty, and the other person's like, I'm clean. The other person's dirty, right? And they're both just both pointing the finger at each other, right? Just like kids. So I just said, you know what? I'm gonna set expectation up front. We're just gonna have a maid come every month, and I'll make the house nice and clean, right? And these tenants, the downside too is like I had one tenant where he was always paying rent late, and because I lived with him, I was more lenient. And every month he'd have an excuse. Oh, my direct deposit didn't work. Oh, I got a new job and direct deposit didn't work. Oh, I'm a little behind on this. He kept giving me an excuse, and ultimately that was a tenant that one day in the middle of the night he just left the house. Right? Luckily he didn't trash the unit or the room. He just left the house. He owed me like a month or two worth of rent, which was like $2,000, and that was just my lesson learned. Right? Like you got to enforce the lease. Right? You can't be lenient no matter how nice you try to be. I work in healthcare, and he gave me a lot of sob stories, like, oh, I have a medical issue, I have this issue. He just gave me every excuse under the moon, and I was trying to be empathetic, I was trying to be caring, trying to be human, right? But definitely he took advantage of that, which is unfortunate. But it is what it is, right? And that's the cost of doing business. You have tenants who, in Asian households, we don't like wearing shoes in the house, but you might have tenants that do wear shoes in the house, and even though you tell them, hey, don't wear shoes in the house. It's more of a cultural thing for Asian Americans. And also, if you have carpet, it makes it dirty. So just being able to enforce that. So just a lot of little things that you have to enforce and take care of. And sometimes it's hard to fully relax when they're there, right? So for me, definitely worth it to house hack it. Ideally, if you could buy a duplex, triplex, fourplex, live in one unit, and then rent out the other units, you still maintain your privacy while still getting rental income. But in California, it was just too hard to get like a triplex, duplex, or fourplex, right? Because it's just not many made, and it's more competitive. So overall, to summarize this, was it worth it buying an $800,000 house that I house hacked? Yes, it was, right? It taught me how to be a landlord. It taught me how to manage people. It built up my net worth significantly because that same house is worth $1.3 million now. It got me interested in real estate, so it was worth it, right? And I didn't mind at the time living with people because I still had that college mentality. Versus now, And now I'm kind of like 50-50. Like, do I want to do it? Do I not want to do it? In any case, hopefully this gave you insight as to what it's like to house hack a property. Hopefully this gave you some of the pros and cons. Hopefully this gave you some value. Please like, comment, subscribe. Let me know if you have any questions down below. And if you're interested in joining my mentorship program, check out the link down below. You can send me an email if you're interested in a discount code. And anyways, thank you so much, and I hope you see you next one.